necesitamos sentirnos llenos. Lo bueno se nos escapa en cualquier momento. Tienes que intentar luchar por seguir tus sueños. Sin olvidar mantener los pies en el suelo.
What's up, guys? Que lo que? Bonjour, bonjour, mingalabane kong la, annyeonghaseyo, ososeo. This video is about excuses, and if you have lots of excuses, you may like this video. If you have lots of excuses, you may not like this video. Well, guys, it's 2018 and a lot of people are making New Year's resolutions. I don't really do that kind of thing, but I think a new year is a good start for good habits. And that's kind of what I try to develop all throughout the year. But those of you who are thinking of starting a new habit, this is a good one. Stop making excuses. Like, I cannot tell you how many people have told me, I wish I was talented enough to learn another language. Guess what? You learned one language, you can learn another language. Yes, it's just that easy. No, it's not effortless. Well, maybe
if you are 2 years old and you already speak English and you move to Spain with your parents and they send you to school in Spanish, it might be effortless.
But for the rest of us, it's not effortless. It will take some effort, but it is totally possible. So I'm going to highlight a few excuses and then I'm going to debunk those excuses, get rid of them, and if you're ready to start new, then 2018 is a great time to learn another language. So let's get started. Number one, what I hear people say a lot is, I would love to learn a language, but I'm just too busy. I don't have the time. This is just not true. Yes, the more time that you put into learning a language, the faster you will progress, but that is not always the case. It depends on what you're doing. What you want to do is try to find the most effective method for you and do it every day. It's better to do 5 minutes a day than it is to do 3 hours every month. So what you want is consistency. Make sure that when you study that you're actually learning things that you will use on a daily basis. So I used to work, a long time ago, I used to work at a music store when I lived in Atlanta. And there was a guy there from Croatia. So every day I would say to him, good morning in Croatian, and I can't remember which one it was. It was either Dobri Jin or Dobri Jutra. If you guys speak Croatian, then you can correct me because it's been a long time. It's been like 10 years. But every day I would say that to him. And if I had decided to learn a little bit more Croatian, then I would have learned some more phrases, and then I could practice with him every day, just for a few minutes each day, and I was already at work. So maybe you know someone already at work that speaks a foreign language. If you like this person, not in a romantic way, but if you have conversations with them, then talk to them in their language if you're curious about their language. Maybe you don't want to learn their language. Maybe you want to learn another language that nobody around you speaks. Some of us want to do that. I don't know why, but I'm one of those people. So if you're curious about that language, there are apps that you can use to practice with people. Hello Talk, I did a video on that. No, I'm not. This is not sponsored at all. They're not paying me. I just think that it's a cool app. There are other apps that you can use to talk to someone for 5 minutes each day. So there you go. Debunked, guys. Don't use the excuse that you don't have time or you're too busy. Everyone has 5 minutes a day to dedicate to a language that they actually want to learn. So going back to the talent, so many people have told me this. I wish I was talented enough, or I'm not good at languages. Another one I hear all the time is, I can't even speak my own language. I can't even speak English. So how can I speak whatever, Mandarin? Well, number one, you don't need to be talented to learn a language. You learned your first language, so you can learn another language. There are certain strengths that will come in handy with learning a language, but you don't need these. All you need is the ability to listen and the ability to repeat.
The ability to listen and the ability to repeat.
That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need to have a great vocabulary in your original language. You don't need to be a scholar. You don't need to have a college degree. You don't need to be a teacher. You don't need to be taught by a teacher. You can teach yourself. So, guys, that's no excuse. You don't have to be talented. I happen to have a very strong preference for learning languages, but I do not believe that I am that talented. And even if there are some who would beg to differ that I am especially talented in languages, I know people personally who are not talented in languages, who for whatever reason maybe struggled with their first language. And this is something that they admit, and they have learned a second language. So it is totally doable. Totally doable. Okay, one that I hear a lot is that if I learned a foreign language, I would have to move to a foreign country. That's the only way that I can do it. If that is your choice, not to learn a foreign language because you don't want to live in your country and learn a foreign language, then that is fine. But if you feel like this is a good reason for not learning a language, or you feel like this is an obstacle, then I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. I am a good example of that. Of course, I do live in the United States where there are a lot of Spanish speakers, but I do not live in Texas, California, or New Mexico, where a lot of people, maybe half of the population is Hispanic. I don't live in a state like that. So I do have to seek out people to speak Spanish. But I was able to learn Spanish on my own over the years. So it is totally possible. I know people who speak all kinds of languages that have learned because they just decided to do it. And they made sure that they were, like, going back to what we were talking about before, consistent. And they had conversations with people, with native speakers. This is the most important thing. You do not have to live in a foreign country. And we all know that there are people who live in foreign countries who never learn to speak the language effectively. So that is not an automatic thing that happens just because you live in a foreign country. You can just be around people who only speak English and never learn Spanish or French or whatever. So you don't need to move to a foreign country. If you want to, that is great. I would love to have those kind of circumstances, but I don't. So I have to kind of work with my circumstances. And it is totally possible. You can, with the internet, you can meet anyone you want from that country using HelloTalk, iTalki, whatever app that you can use for language exchange. Guys, don't use these excuses. They are not good excuses for learning a language if you can talk. If you can listen, if you can repeat, then you can definitely learn a foreign language. Make 2018 the year that you finally tackle French or Mandarin or Korean or whatever language that you have decided that you are going to learn. Just go ahead and do it. A new world of possibilities will open up to you. You just cannot imagine what this will do for, number one, your self-esteem, what this will do for your lifestyle and the kind of friendships that you will build. So do not let these things hold you back. Thank you for watching, and happy language learning.